My first bodybuilding show, I messed up. I was 23 years old and really knew nothing about competing. Bodybuilding works like this. They have three different categories. Bodybuilding, where essentially you want to be as big and aesthetic as possible. Classical physique, where they care a lot more about the shape, but you still need to look excellent and have a ton of muscle. And men's physique, definitely more about the conditioning and symmetry, but you still need to be absolutely jacked. I started with men's physique, easily the least intimidating out of the three. For the prep of this show, I coached myself. I put together a diet that I thought would work, and I trained essentially how I was training at the time, maybe with a little bit more intensity. I didn't miss a single day of training, really dove in with both feet and completely committed to the process, not knowing if I'd really like it or not. I decided on this show. In bodybuilding, once you've picked one of the three main categories, there are 4 subcategories in each one of those divisions. So in men's physique, there's the open category, essentially the best of the best that show up that day, compete to see who's going to win. Masters, generally 35 plus to 45 plus, age-wise. Novice or true novice, your first time competing or your first time competing in that division. Juniors, 23 and under. At the time, I was 23. My last shot to compete in the juniors category, that's exactly what I went for. So I decided to compete in the juniors category and the novice category. My whole life, I've had a pretty easy time putting on body fat mass and muscle mass. It's also been pretty easy for me to cut, but I've never cut for a show before. I've never cut to single-digit body fat, or at least very low single-digit body fat. And I'm coaching myself. I don't really have any experience making a competition cutting program, but I put together the best plan that I thought I could put together and really just thought I'd see how it went. In bodybuilding, there's something called peak week, the final week of your prep, trying to cut down to the lowest body fat percentage possible, optimizing everything to make sure you look perfect on show day. And then there's me who just Googled it. So I found something called water manipulation. Essentially, you just hyper water load early on in the week, slowly cut out the water later on, and it's supposed to really tighten things up and squeeze your body. So I tried that. I get through the whole prep, I get through the peak week, the water manipulation, everything, and I look pretty good. I think that I have a realistic shot at not embarrassing myself on stage, which really was the goal. I get to the guest hotel where I'll be staying the night before the show. I go to get the competition tan, 2 tans, one the night before, one the morning of. I go to the athlete check-in, the final form of registration, just to confirm I showed up to the show, I'll be there tomorrow. And then lastly, I attended the athletes meeting. Just a final meeting ran by the organizers to go over all the procedures, make sure everybody knows what class they'll be competing in, what's expected in each class, and a way to kind of optimize how the show is going to go. And this is what happened. 23 years old, first show of my life, and I came in looking like this. Honestly, for coaching myself, I was pretty proud, and even to this day, looking back, I'm pretty happy with what I was able to put together. But I guess more importantly for me, how did I do? So I was in the men's physique true novice class, in the men's physique juniors class. And as you can see, I'm competitor number 13. I came in second in both shows in my first show ever, coaching myself at 23 years old. Only losing to one person in each one of those classes and being pretty proud of myself. The scoring system works like this. Essentially, for this show, there's going to be 5 judges. Each judge is going to give their first place competitor the number 1, their second place competitor the number 2, third place 3, and so on. They add up all the scores, so the lowest score you can possibly get is a score of 5. As you can see, the first place guy in each category got a 6, I got a 9 in both of them, so at least one judge had me coming in first, winning the class, but honestly, second place in 2 categories in my first show ever, in a class of 9 and a class of 7. I was pretty happy with how things went. And then for a look at the top 3, we had the middle guy, the winner. We had the left of the middle, second place, and then we had the right of the winner, third place. So that's about how I stacked up in the show. Again, pretty happy with how I did, but I'm a very competitive person. Obviously, I wanted to win, but essentially, this is the day that locked in. Competing is for me. This is something I want to pursue long term. And the second class, this was juniors. Honestly, I think I was beaten in this one. I think the guy who was in the center definitely outmuscled me. I thought he did pretty well, and he ended up winning the overall for the entire show. So in the open class, he won his class, and then he beat all the other guys to win the overall championship. So hats off to him. He did really well, but that really lit a fire in me to level up and do better in the future. So overall, how did I do? 2 classes, 2 second places, 2 medals. Really not bad for my first show ever, but more so than anything, this ignited such a fire in me to want to compete and really understand that this is something I want to do moving forward. Also, in Canada, the top 2 at the time, now top 3 in any juniors class or any open class, qualify for the Canadian National Pro Qualifier, IFBB Pro Qualifier. So by placing second in this show, I was registered, or I qualified to compete in the National Canadian Show. Pretty cool for my first time out. But that's the story. I've competed 5 times total. This is just competition number 1. So definitely like, subscribe, follow along. Video number 2 of how did the second show go is going to be posted pretty soon, and then we're going to keep on going.